Good morning, one G's. Day 7. We made it. Almost. We still have a day left, which is today, and then we're done. We're done. We can go back to eating more tasty, more delicious foods again. But yeah, I mean, look, day 7. Obviously, I'm back with my winter clothes because the weather just decided. Yesterday was sunny. Today it's just decided to go all out rain. It's just wintry today. But that never stopped us from going to the gym. It should never stop you. You should find a way to go to the gym. It's just a little bit of bad weather, a little bit of rain. It's all right. But yeah, we're heading to the gym now. We obviously have shoulders today. This is the last day of the diet, day 7. We're gonna hit shoulders hard, and then we're gonna go grab some food, and then head back home to eat the food, because I'll be hungry by then, because it's a bit late, to be honest. It's almost 12 o'clock now. Obviously, I haven't eaten anything, so I'm just gonna go do the workout, which is, by the way, that's not ideal, because somebody commented the other day and he asked why didn't I eat before training legs, and it's a very good point, guys. But I think it's just the diet. It's like, if I was gonna eat, what was I supposed to eat, and would it make any difference? Because obviously there were 0 carbs, right? So it was going to be mostly protein and fats. So would it really make a difference if I did it before training? I don't know. Probably. I could definitely see a good enough reasoning, but yeah, well, who knows? But it's always good to eat something before you go to the gym, something high in carbs ideally, so you have energy on the ready to go when you actually train. But I mean, the diet restricts us and we have no carbs, so yeah. I'm not hungry though. Like, it would have been one of these things that you do because you have to do it, not because you want to do it. But by the time I come back, as I said, it's almost 12 o'clock now. So by the time I come back, it's probably going to be around close to 3 o'clock. So I'll be hungry then for sure. So I'm going to eat then. And yeah, we're just going to go from there, really. I mean, there is a lot to talk about when it comes to the diet, because obviously now I've been doing it for a week. So there are a lot of positives. There are a couple of negatives. I'm going to talk about them on a separate video. And then that would be that, I guess. But for now, look, we're just gonna head to the gym. We're gonna hit shoulders hard. We're gonna go grab food. We're gonna go eat. You know how the rest of the day is gonna look like. If this is the last day of this diet, and yeah, I think towards the end, either later tonight, it might be tomorrow, to be honest. Once the diet is actually done, like we've done the full 7 days of the diet, we can then talk about the positives and the negatives. Is the diet good? Does the diet does what it says? Blah blah blah. Some things that not many people would tell you, unless you know it's people who have done the diet, in terms of positives and negatives. Because it's not that simple, right? There's a lot of things that go into consideration when you sort of rank a diet. How expensive is it? Is it doable? Can you stick to it? Both from a physical standpoint, can your body withstand the diet for a long enough time period, or does it take immense amount of will, or is it easy to stick to? But yeah, it's just lifestyle might be another one if you want to think about it. It's like, if you're gonna go out with friends today for dinner, can you eat anything? Well, the answer with this diet is you can, but you're gonna be very restrictive. You're just gonna have to be that guy who's like, don't put anything, just meat on the plate, please, blah blah blah, you know. But yeah, we're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna talk about all that on a separate video. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead to the gym. So I'll see you in the gym. Right. So we're gonna start the workout. We are gonna do shoulder presses first, and then we're gonna move to the side lats. Why shoulder presses first? I mean, I don't know. Kind of felt like it. I want to get the heavy movement out of the way first, and then go do the less demanding exercises, let's say. So shoulder presses, another thing that I wanted to say, when it comes to shoulder presses, guys, they're not the best exercise when it comes to muscle growth specifically, especially if you are an intermediate to advanced sort of lifter. It's not the best exercise for muscle growth. it really only targets a very specific area of the shoulder. It builds up a ton of systemic fatigue, especially if you're doing them standing up with a barbell and you load the barbell. It's just too much systemic fatigue overall for your entire body to handle, which means it takes away from other muscles when it comes to recovery. I wouldn't. It's also a bit risky, not gonna lie. So it's not a terrible exercise. It's a man's exercise, as we used to say back in the other gym that I was going to. It's yeah, men like doing it. There's a certain thing about it, right? When you're lifting like quite a lot of weight above your head, and you're just throwing it up. Like I can do 80 kilos for reps with a barbell. That to me means that I can literally pick up and throw an adult male over my head if I wanted it. So yeah, I'm just trying to explain the psychology behind it, but at least my psychology behind sort of my train of thought and all of that. But for the most part, jokes aside, yeah, shoulder presses are not the best exercise when it comes to muscle growth. There are a ton of other exercises that will allow you to get that extra deep stretch and target specific muscle groups, such as the side lats or the front delts or the rear delts, and not target all of them at the same time. Again, if you're standing up and you're doing a barbell press, so a barbell overhead press, then a ton of systemic fatigue. You're just building up such an immense fatigue. It's not really worth it. But for the most part, I like doing them. They translate quite good when it comes to strength and real world. So if you are going to go out there and you can lift 80 kilos above your head, it does translate quite well for overall strength. But I mean, for the most part, look, we're going to do 3 sets, not 4. Probably 2 proper sets with 30 kilos at hand, and then I'm going to do a drop set down to 25 or 22 and a half. We'll see. But yeah, for the most part, I'm going to do the first set now. I'm going to stop talking because I talked for a while. But hopefully you understand what I'm coming with when I say this about shoulder presses. It's not a terrible exercise, but it's not the best when it comes to muscle building. That's all I'm saying. It does work very well for strength if your goal is strength and not necessarily size. But yeah, if you're focusing on size like I am, they're not the best. They're not the best. There are a few others. There are a couple of things you can do to make them better. So for me, I'm obviously on an incline. The bench is on an incline, so I target the upper chest at the same time. And again, I'm not using very heavy weight because then the dumbbell becomes a little bit of a problem in terms of range of motion because it limits my range of motion. So I'm out here and I'm trying to get that extra deep stretch on the shoulders, and then press up and obviously control the eccentric. This is like my goal now. That's kind of like the best way that I can think of to make this exercise more efficient when it comes to muscle growth. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's do the first set and go from there. Oh, so it was like 11 good reps, 11 clean reps. Very good stuff. I've got to say with this diet, it's like, I don't know how to explain this, but I don't feel like I can push towards my limits, which is a bit annoying because I know I'm doing sets and I know I can't move anymore, but I feel that I can. It's a very weird thing, and you might argue that it's just a mental thing, but I don't think it is. I think it's the diet. I think it's the carbs. I really do believe that. And I'm saying that very specifically because I do the set and then it's like I don't have enough energy to push more. But I know my muscles haven't reached failure. It's a bit weird to explain it, man. I think it just has to do with energy levels. Could be wrong. But anyway, I mean, look, 11 reps, 11 good reps as well. I'll take that. I'll take that. So we're going to do one more set and then a drop set, and then I'm going to move to the more fun stuff. Oh, what was that? 10 reps. I think I went for the 11th, but that wasn't happening. Oh god. So we're gonna do a drop set now. Right, and for our drop set, we have 22.5 kilos per arm. I'm just gonna write that one out. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, right, that's it. That's it for the shoulder presses. I said in the beginning of the set that that's nice. What I meant by that, and feel free to debate me on this, but I really do believe, obviously there is a bit of nuisance there, but I really do believe that if the dumbbell is lighter, because it's smaller, it allows for that extra deep stretch. And although the dumbbell is smaller, therefore lighter, therefore you use less weight, you still end up getting an extremely good pump. And maybe during the lighter set, you can't really do that much more reps than you would have with the heavier dumbbells, because the heavier dumbbells, they're heavier, therefore bigger, therefore they limit the range of motion. And that was very apparent to me when I was doing incline press with dumbbells, because I would go for the 42.5 and I could do 10 reps, because I could go really deep with the 42s because they're smaller than the 50s. And when I was using the 50s, I could do 8 reps. And I was like, how does that work? How can I do 10 reps with the 42s? And I can only really master 8.5 with the 50s. Shouldn't I be doing way less with the 50s if I can do only 10 with the 42.5s? But I think it's because with the 42s, I could go that extra bit and stretch my muscles really deeply. But then the 50s, because they're bigger, they stopped the range of motion prematurely. So it was easier to do the reps. I'm not saying that the 50s are not as effective as the 42.5s. I guess it depends on the person and the situation, but this is why I said in the beginning there's a bit of nuisance there. But here, I said this is good because 22.5s, I could just go a bit deeper. No, a lot. I think with the 30s, I could go here, but with the 32s, I could just go here. And that extra bit just makes such a difference to me. It almost feels therapeutic for my muscles as well, which I really like at that stretched position. But yeah. This might be controversial, but lighter dumbbells within a specific range, but lighter dumbbells are harder to move
than heavier dumbbells within a specific range, right? Obviously, I'm not talking about 10s versus 50s. I'm talking about the 42 and a halves versus the 50s, the 22 and a halves versus the 30s. That's what I mean. That's within that range, right? I think the lighter dumbbells are easier to. I think the lighter dumbbells are actually heavier, are actually more difficult to do a set with than the heavier dumbbells and the bigger dumbbells sometimes. Just my opinion. But yeah, feel free to debate me on this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people down in the comments going to be going like crazy. Like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, blah, blah, blah. Look, man, it just depends, right? If you're using the 22s and you go the same depth as the 30s, I'll have questions. I'll be like, why not deeper? Because clearly, if you're going as deep as you can with the 30s, then the dumbbell will sort of limit your range of motion because it will touch your body. So, in theory, a smaller dumbbell should allow you to go even deeper, unless, of course, you have some sort of an injury or something like that. But yeah, feel free to debate me. I'll stand by that. I'll die on that hill. I'll die on that hill. Ready, side laterals. I've done this exercise with cables 1,000 times in this channel, on this channel, and I've talked about it probably 1,000 times. But I'll say it one more time because I've seen a lot of people doing it wrong. A lot of people are starting the actual cable is starting from all the way down there, which is not as efficient as this variation, which the cable actually starts from here. It's around 90 degrees. It creates a 90-degree angle between your arm and the actual cable. That's what you should be looking for. The reason you do that is because then the side lat is always under pressure, under tension rather, which is obviously what we're looking for. And the other thing, as you go up, make sure that pinky comes up first, not your thumb, because usually, generally speaking, if the thumb comes up first, you're doing more front delt. If the pinky comes up first, you're doing more side lat. So if your pinky comes up first, in this case, it's going to be something like that. It's kind of like it's elbow. Imagine your elbowing up, something like that. Obviously, don't overdo it, right? But it's kind of like, there you go. So don't do that. Do that. That's going to make a hell of a difference. So I'm just going to do the first set. Show you what it looks like. If you want to tilt a little bit towards there, that's even better for that extra stretch. And then just go up. That's it. Make sure your pinky comes up first, always. Oh, let's do the other arm. Oh. Oh, ooh, that's it. That is it. So yeah, it's a pretty simple thing, honestly. Just a couple of changes are going to make a hell of a difference on this exercise. Create a 90-degree angle between your arm and the cable. So this is going to have to be somewhere up here, somewhere between like your core. And then you can lean, you can tilt towards the opposite side of the cable. And then as you pull, always think pinky comes up first. So you go this way, and that will make all the difference. Second set. Oh, oh, ooh. One more. One more for this side, anyway. Ooh. Uh, uh, oh, ooh. We're gonna do 2 more sets. No drops in here, just 2 more sets. And then I'm gonna move to the third exercise, which is gonna be upright rows. Third set. Oh, 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 Jesus. Okay, one more. I mean, we could move to the second, well, third exercise, really. And I think I'm gonna do rear delts as well. I will worry about that in a sec. Last one. Right. Third exercise. Upright rows. Got 15 kilos on. Should be good enough. Right. I'm gonna do 2 more. And then some rear delts, and that will be good enough. Oh, that wasn't moving anymore. Woo. Ah, one more. All right, that's it. Oh, oh, that's it. All right, some rear delts now, and then we can wrap this up. Ah, oh, mm, mm, oh, oh, God. Cool. One more. All right, let's do the last one because I am kind of hungry now. Oh, cool. That's it. So we're gonna wrap the workout up. We are gonna go and gonna grab some food, and then I'm gonna see you back at home with some food. See you in a second.
Right, so we changed things up a little bit because this is not actually the first meal of the day. I had 3 mini Bobby Bells, the light version of those. I had 200 grams of smoked salmon, and then I had 200 grams of the beef jerky. So all in all, I had around 1,000 calories before I actually got to the first meal. But for the first meal of the day, minus the snacks, we have 20 grams of butter in the pan. We're gonna do our beef burgers right here with 4 of those. I'm gonna check in a second how heavy they actually are. They should be around 380. And then we have around 280 grams of king prawns. Yes, we are gonna eat all of these at once. Yes, it is gonna be well over 1,000 calories and a lot of protein in those things. But it is what it is. And that's probably gonna be like the last bit of thing that I'm gonna eat for the day. Maybe a little bit more beef jerky, maybe a couple of mini Barbie Bells. We'll see. We'll find out. Let me weight the burgers. 365, 370. Let's call it 370. So 370 grams of beef patties. Just gonna lightly season them because they've got seasoning of their own anyway. So I don't want to overdo it. For argument's sake, let's weight the prawns as well. The pack says 280. I doubt it. It's going to be very close to 280, obviously, but I doubt it's going to be exact. $265. Told you. Alrighty, so beef patties are done. Just gonna put them to the side, and then we're gonna throw the prawns in. Pretty simple stuff, guys. There isn't really much to say here. That's gonna be meal number one, really. I mean, I've had quite a lot of snacks outside of the actual meal, and then that's gonna be the only meal that I'm gonna have throughout the day. So that I hope that puts into perspective how my hunger levels have really truly diminished with this diet. Like, I'm genuinely not hungry, and I don't think it has much to do with the fact that I'm eating the same things over and over again, because I do like them. I like the taste of these things anyway, but I just don't want to eat. I really don't want to eat. I don't know how else to say this. I don't think there is another reason, to be honest. It's just I don't want to eat. That's pretty much it. Prawns are done as well. Just gonna put them on the plate. Alright, so we're gonna go and eat, and I'm gonna see you again when I'm done with this, a bit later in the day probably. Definitely towards the end, around 10, 11 o'clock. And we're gonna talk about the last day of the carnivore diet and how we can go on with our lives and eat proper food and everything. But yeah, I'll see you later. Alrighty, so we are wrapping finally the last day of this diet. Day 7 is done. It's around 10:30 here at night, so I'm not gonna eat anything else for the day. I'm just gonna go straight to the numbers. I'm not actually gonna give you my thoughts on the diet today. I'm gonna do that on a separate video just to keep the video short, and in line with the rest of the videos that we did on the diet. So going straight to the numbers, today in total we ate 2,295 calories, 2,295 calories. Out of those, 304 grams of protein. It says here 7 grams of carbs, and I'm guessing that comes from the biltong. Yeah, so we literally ate less than a gram of carbs overall. The reason I'm saying this is because when I logged the beef jerky in there, I couldn't find, because I'm buying mine from like a butcher, I guess you would say, so there are no additives, no carbs whatsoever. It's just the meat dried out with some spices. So it doesn't have any carbs on it, and I know that, but in the app it doesn't actually. This is the closest that I could come to that option for the beef jerky, and for some fucked up reason, I guess commercial beef jerky has carbs for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it is what it is. So going over the numbers again, 2,295 calories, 304 grams of protein, less than a gram of carbs, and 113.2 grams of fats. And that's it. I want to say it's so easy to stay at that calorie range. Whereas if I was doing a more normal diet, even if I was being very careful with my protein intake and my carbs and my fats and all that kind of stuff, I was literally eating to lose weight. And so I wasn't eating anything excessive, anything too tasty. It would still be very, very difficult to remain within that sort of calorie range that I am at the moment, which is around 23 to 2,700, let's say, more or less, right? It would have been hard. And this diet is, I will say, when it comes to hunger management and all that, it's anything but hard. I don't feel like eating like 23, 2,400, 2,500 calories is really all I can eat. Like, I don't want to eat anymore. So yeah, it's incredibly easy to remain at those low caloric sort of intakes, I guess, on this diet, whereas other diets would have been more difficult. I would have hunger management issues, I guess. I would be more hungry is what I'm trying to say, versus this diet, I'm just not hungry through and through. So wrap for day 7. Good day overall. Went to the gym, hit shoulders, so that was it. So from tomorrow, I'm going to start eating normally again. I'm waiting on a few stuff because my diet consists of a lot of nice stuff, but they're the 0 calorie type variants, I guess. So I'll give you an example. I like French toast with maple syrup. However, the maple syrup that I get, that I put on my food, is literally 0 calories. It's from a company called the Skinny Food Company, and they make all types of sauces, all types of syrups at literally 0 calories. So, and when I say French toast, in terms of dipping the actual bread on a whole egg or a few whole eggs, I'm actually dipping the egg on egg whites, and I'm adding maybe a little bit of stevia, which is again 0 calories, maybe a little bit of cinnamon for taste. It goes very well actually with it. So again, it remains very low in calories, and I'm not opting out for the higher calorie sort of variants, or I guess for the high caloric foods types. You know what I mean? Food types that I can get. So instead of getting a whole egg, I'm just getting egg whites. Instead of getting proper sugary stuff, I'm getting like stevia, sugary stuff. So it's like 0 calories. It's the 0 calorie variants that make all the difference, and you should really be looking out for those. So that's what my that's what my diet consists of, and this is what I'm waiting on, because I've ordered a few of this stuff, because obviously I wasn't eating those on this diet. Although I guess I could, because they wouldn't break ketosis. But eat them with what? Like maple syrup with steak? That doesn't really go well together, does it? So yeah, that's going to be it up for day 7. We've done it. I'd say it was very successful. I feel lighter. I know I've lost weight. I don't know how much, because for some reason I didn't weigh myself in the beginning and now, so I don't know how much weight I lost, but I know I have. It's so unbelievably visible on the mirror. Yes, in 7 days time you can really see the difference. I'm never bloated ever, which is one of the things that I really like about this diet. Brain fog is gone. I can just think faster, which is a weird thing to say, but it's so surprising when you clear your diet, the sort of benefits that you get from that, and how much food actually affects your mood, your body, your energy levels, all of it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into the positives and negatives of the diet on this video. I am going to do it on a separate video. But all in all, I'm not going to say it was overly difficult. I know a lot of guys were like, oh, but you only eat steak and meat. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I like steak. I like most meats. Don't take that the wrong way. But I just like them. So it's like, it wasn't that difficult. And especially once you get over day 2 and 3, and those cravings, they just go away. They're just a distant memory, as I like to say. It just becomes so easy to remain on that low calorie intake for the day. And when it comes to the rest of it, there are a couple of issues with it. And again, I'm going to talk about them on a separate video. So I guess with that, I'm just going to wrap this video up. I'm going to go and I'm going to edit it now, and then I'm going to go to bed. And tomorrow, I'm probably going to make a separate video talking about the positives and negatives of this diet. So I'll see you all, not tomorrow, because it's rest day tomorrow, day after tomorrow, with legs. That's going to be fun, because I'm going to be carved up now. See you later.